Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Well, I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day weekend. I had a great Mother's Day weekend. We took my mom to a Mexican restaurant and they had mariachis and it was fantastic. Here's a little clip of the mariachis for you. Well, today I want to make a little USA planter. It's going to be a small little craft. It's not going to take a lot of time. I am going to be using items from the Dollar Trees to make this inexpensive. We are going to be having Memorial Day soon, and then we're also going to be having 4th of July. So this is going to be a nice little arrangement that we can set up to decorate on our table, our little side table, maybe even hang it on the wall. So let me show you what these items, the supplies are going to be so that we can get to crafting. Again, I went to the Dollar Tree and I got this planter from the Dollar Tree. It just says flowers or planter, flowers, because that's what that means. And I think it's really cute, little galvanized metal. And I got some flowers. I got these, I got red, white, and blue. This is kind of a purple, but what the heck, it looks blue to me. So I got these. These are zinnias, and you can see that pretty little flower right there. And I got this one. This is a narcissus, a little white, a little bit creamy, a little bit of green in there. That's okay. And then the lilac. This will be my blue, my red, white, and blue. I also have some leftover greenery from another project, and I'll show you that when we get to the arrangement. But let me show you what else I got from the Dollar Tree. I got some reindeer moss. Here we go, as you can see that right there. And I got a 4-pack of these little styrofoam little cubes or little square or rectangles, whatever you want to call them. I also found these foam wands. And they have a little star and they have some ribbon hanging off of them. They're on a little stick. But I think I'm going to use one, maybe two in my arrangement. I'm also going to be incorporating half of this little garden fence. Is that what it is? Yeah, it's a garden fence. And I've used some of these in another project and I had a piece left over. So that's what I'm actually going to be using. I also have some ribbon, and I've had this ribbon for quite some time. You can find some at the Dollar Tree. This is what I found at the Dollar Tree. This kind of a burlap with red and blue glittery bits. But I happen to have this other one. It's a red, white, and blue. And I decided that I want to go ahead and use this one on this particular arrangement because I'd like to save that burlap one for maybe a wreath, or maybe like a straw wreath or something that's got more burlap in there. And I felt these colors were a little too bright. Okay, these are the items that I'm going to use. I am going to be using some tools. I'm going to be using my wire cutters. Show you that right there. Some craft scissors because I will need to cut all my tags off of everything, and also the ribbon. I need one of those pliers because sometimes I need that for wire, which I'm going to be using a little bit of floral wire to tie my ribbon with. I'm also going to be using these floral or greenery pins, whatever you want to call them, U-pins. I'm going to be using some of that. I've got my hot glue gun ready, and I've got some hot glue, the glue sticks for my hot glue gun right here. But I got a little gift from my husband, and it was late. I didn't get here before Mother's Day or on Mother's Day, but rather I got here today, which is a Monday, which is just fine. And I already saw what it was, so I know what it is, but I'm going to be doing an unboxing right here in front of you so you can see what it is. And I'm not going to show you what the clue is that I already knew what it was because that arrived a couple of hours before the actual item. So we're going to be using that for this. So let's go ahead and turn this camera down so we can go ahead and get to crafting. All right, so here's the mystery box that I know it's in there. Not only that, because I had also picked out the item and I put it on our Amazon list. And I had told my husband, there's something on the list, because he asked me, what do I want for Mother's Day? And I said, there's something on the list. Maybe you'll figure it out, and that's what I would like. It's nothing expensive, of course, but it was something that I used to use a lot, and I have no idea what happened to it and all my movement of so many things. So I really wanted a new one, and I found one on Amazon. So I'm going to show you what it is, and I really suggest everyone get one of these. They're awesome. And it is a electric skillet. An electric skillet, you ask? Yes. This is going to be for melting my glue. And this is the item that I received in the mail first. So I opened up the packet, or the envelope actually, and this is what it was. And I said, oh, okay, I think I know what's coming next after this, because, well, first I thought, my husband thought, well, I could use this for my glue gun. But no, it is going to be for my little electric skillet. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. And we're going to be using that so you can see how this is used in comparison to using a glue gun. Either one is fine. But if you're going to be doing a lot of floral work, I think a little skillet is the perfect thing. And this is an actual cooking skillet, by the way. But I'm going to be using it for melting my glue. So let's get to opening that up and get to working. All right, I've already opened up all my packaging, so I've got everything ready to be used right here in front of me. I've cut up all my stems from the one large stem, so they're no longer a bush, but rather individuals. And I've done all my flowers here, so I've got them ready to go. So the next thing I want to do is I want to use this fencing, this garden fencing. So what I did is I took my scissors or wire cutters and just cut off these little pegs. Actually, you won't even have to cut these off if you don't want to, but you'll have to go cutting through here. So you're probably gonna have to cut a little bit into one of these little picks or the other way around, and then cut straight right between them. I found out that it's not all that hard to do, so I did use my sturdy craft scissors to cut right through. And then of course you want to cut these little bits on the end here as well. You don't need that. I'm not going to do that right now because I already have one that I had cut before, and I've already actually painted it. I took it out earlier today, and I painted this piece. This was left over from another project, and it had some other colors on it where I was doing some experimenting, where I did a terrarium. So if you want to see that video, I'll put the link down below in the description box so you can see where I ended up with this little piece. All I did was use some regular spray paint that I got at Walmart. It only cost me 99 cents. I can still smell it actually. But that is what I'm going to be using. You can use craft paint if you want to brush it on. I didn't even bother whether it was painted all the way through. You can give it a little bit of a rustic look if you want, or just go over it with maybe another paint to give it a little bit of a stain. I'm going to use it just like that, all nice and white. I was talking about the little picks on the other part. Those are okay if you want to use them, and then do a little bit of a bending, a little curving of this, and then you can stick it into the styrofoam with those little picks. But I went ahead and, because these are already cut, I went ahead and got some floral pins that I'm going to use, these U-pins that I showed you in the beginning, and I'm going to use them to push this into my styrofoam. So what I want to do is I want to prepare my container by adding some styrofoam, and I've got these 4 little squares. And I also wanted to show you the skillet. Here's the skillet. I've already got it plugged in. I had it on high for a little bit, and I threw some little glue bits, these little chunks here. I threw some in there, let them melt. So that's all I'm doing. But I've gone ahead and just kind of have it at like kind of medium-high heat. And what are these called? They're just called hot melt skillet glue. That's what it's called. This bag, I believe, was like about $8, $7 or $8, and the little skillet was about $15. In case you're wondering, they were from Amazon, so you can just look for electric skillet. It's a 6-inch electric skillet, in case you're wondering. Okay, so I'm just going to put some glue down at the bottom, and in this case, I am going to use my glue gun because I am going to be pouring some glue right in there. Get a glue stick ready, just in case I need that. Pour some glue in there. And let's get some more glue. Let's get another one going on this side. I usually get my blocks of styrofoam from Hobby Lobby, and I get this bigger size blocks. They're like the size of one of these, and there's like I think there's 6 in the pack, and I pay like $4 or so, but I end up using their 40% off coupon that they offer every week for one regular price item. And I end up using that, so I end up paying like $3 for it, because it's like $4.99 and I pay $4 or $3, $2.99. Okay, once we've got some styrofoam in there and it's pretty set, we let this dry, of course. I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to put this little fencing right on here. Now I could curve it a little bit and insert it in there just a little bit, but I want to make sure it's not going to move on me. Now you could put some glue in there and get this to stick to the back, but there's also a little area here in the corner of my styrofoam, and so this right here catches right on to that. So I'm going to press a pin right over that and into the styrofoam, okay? So let me go ahead and push that in there just a little bit. Like I said, I didn't worry too much about making sure that the bottom part got painted because it's going to get covered up. I'm just going to put some glue. You could use some E6000 glue to make sure this does stick in there, but I'm just going to use my hot glue gun. Okay, plenty of glue in there. Let me bring this up so you can see what I did. Right in there is some glue right here where it touches, and then on these little ends where it touches up against here, and on the other side as well, I put some glue. Now this little part right here, where you can see the styrofoam right here, this is where I'm going to put the pin, right over that little spot. So I'm going to take a pin like that, put it right over so that it goes into the styrofoam, right in there, and I'll do the same on this other side. And then I'm going to pour some glue over that to make sure that stays in place. This one's going to go kind of like at an angle from the back here. Those little glue webs. Okay, so now, like I said, I'm going to pour some glue, get some of this. Pour it over the pin. Make sure that it doesn't come out, or at least it stays in, helps it to stay in there. Okay, so that's all I did. Pour some glue right over those pins, right there, and then another one on the other side. Okay, so now we're going to put some of this reindeer moss, and we don't even have to use that much, just a little bit. I'm actually going to spread it out a little bit because I don't want it all clumped up. Okay, and I'm mainly going to use it where you can kind of see on the sides, the styrofoam, if you look in. Use a pin to hold it in. Cover that. Let's get some on the other side over here. Let's get a little bit more. Nice little clump. And then we're just going to put this kind of loosely, kind of in the front. Let it fall. Some of it will get glued onto the bit of glue that's still not dry there. Just pour it in there. We're not going to worry too much about it because it's not really going to show, just in case a little bit of the styrofoam does show. But we're not going to worry about this back or the middle part. So as you can see, I used very little of that reindeer moss. And let me show you, my bag is still kind of full. You could use all of it if you want, or a little bit more, that's fine. But as you saw, I just used a little clump. And that's really all I'm covering. Okay? So now I've got my little flowers, and I'm going to pick my focal flower, which will be one of these red ones, and I'm going to see which one might have the longest stem, or maybe they're all the same. But it looks like this one sticks out the highest. So that's going to be my focal flower. And this is where I'm going to be using my little skillet because I like to glue down everything. Now you may just want to decide that you just want to stick the flowers in there so that you can recycle this whole bit with a different theme of flowers or different color flowers, or maybe some other items in there. But I like to glue everything, so now all I have to do is just dip my stem. I'm going to put it a little bit higher here because it's getting a little too thick, a little too cold. Okay, I'm going to dip my stem into there. That picks up glue, and then I can just insert it wherever I want into my styrofoam, and I know that my flower is not going to move. Now I'm just going to bend it just a little bit facing forward. That is the height of my arrangement right there. I don't want to go any higher. So then the next flowers that I'm going to put are going to be the ones that are going to be coming out of the side. So I want to form like a triangle, and we've talked about that shape before. I'm just going to trim off some because I'm only going to stick it in a little bit because I don't want it to stick out too much. There we go. And then I can also bend this to face forward just a little bit. Take another one, the same. And then on the other side, and bend it forward just a little bit so that we have that triangle. So now you're just going to fill in between, not any higher than this and not any further out than this. And of course in the front, you don't want to go any further out than that. So I'm going to take another 2 flowers and I'm just going to trim a little bit. Put it between the 2 heights of this way back here. Just bend it just a tad. Over here, not too far in. See, I'm making a triangle here. I'm going to put one right here in the front. So I'm going to trim that kind of short. I don't need it to have a long stem. Push that in right here in the front. So you can see right there, the shape that it already has. All right, so now I'm just going to fill it in with these other flowers. Push that leaf towards the back there. All right. I feel like I want some between right here. Another one on the other side. And then I'll just bend it a little bit so that this one is not so far that way. Okay. See what I've got so far? And that looks really pretty, I think, so far. I got 2 more. I think I'm going to have one coming out behind this flower and then another one coming out behind that one. So just trim a little bit of the length. I'm going to have it come out just a little bit further out. That's fine. Get that one in there, about the same length. There we go. And now I've got my blues. I'm going to put one right in the middle right here. Push the leaf up a little bit. Right in there. And just wherever I feel like I need filling, like I have some gaps of flowers. And then whatever I do to this side, I just do to the other side as well. And I just feel like I gotta have those right there. Okay. There we go. I want you to see what I've done so far. And as you can see, that looks pretty full. And if I didn't have any greenery to use, I could just leave it like that and just take more of that moss and tuck it in to make sure that you do cover any styrofoam that is showing. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and make a bow. And I really should have made my bow first because I like to place my bow into my arrangement and know that I'm not going to put any other flowers there. But I'm kind of feeling it, and it's not really, but I'm kind of feeling it a little bit heavier on one side than I feel it on the other side, even though I've got the same amount of flowers. But I'm going to use this little space down here on the right to put a little bow. So I'm not going to make a really big bow. I'm just going to take about, let me go ahead and trim this at an angle. I like my ends to be at a cut at an angle, like so. I'm going to take about 5 inches, make my little tail, pinch it, twist it, and make sure that the pretty side is always out when I make the first loop. And I'm taking about 6 inches of ribbon, making a loop. So that ends up to be about 3 inches. Pinch it, twist it again so you always have the pretty side up. Make another loop. On the other side, you can bring them both up to make sure that they're the same length. There you go, or the same size. And I think I'm just going to make another 2 loops and make just a 4 loop to bow. I don't need a really big one. And then I'm just going to trim it off right there. I could have made a little center loop, but I'm just going to leave it like that. All right, so now I need some wire, and I'm going to get about 6 to 8 inches of wire. Wrap it around, and then twist the bow itself to tighten down into it. So now, if I had another greenery pin, which I don't, and I can't find one, that's fine. We're just going to go ahead and take all the wire and twist it together. And then I'm going to trim just a little bit because I don't want it to be too long. And it's got a little bit of a stem right there. Okay, get some glue. And I'm going to stick it right down on the right side down here. And then once I have it in place and it's, you know, you give it a little chance to dry, make sure that your little tails, the ribbons are all facing forward, and then you can poof up your loops on the bow. There we go. Just poof them up. I feel like this one needs to be a little poofier. There we go. And I've got a little flower coming right through the middle of it, and that's just fine. And you can tell this is, I did a good job gluing it down and pinning it down because look, I'm actually holding it, and this is not heavy. It's really not heavy. So if I wanted to put a little tack on the wall or something, I could actually put maybe a little ribbon or some wire right here and then hang it on the wall, or just hang it on 2 tacks like so. So this could definitely be hung on a wall because it's not heavy at all. And like I said, this could be ready just as it is. I'm going to go ahead and take one of these foam wands because I feel like I only really need one. I don't need all of them. They're really cute. I like it. And I'm just going to put it, and this time I'm going to kind of have it coming over to the other well, I think it's at the right side. This is the left side on my side, but you're looking at it on the right. So now I'm going to go on the opposite side and put this to kind of give it a balance up this way. If you want to put it right smack in the middle, you can. If you want to trim it and make it a lot shorter, put it up front or right in the center of the arrangement, you certainly can do that. This is where I'm choosing to put it. Make sure these little ribbons are just kind of dangling off here. There we go. That's where I put it. Again, that's completely finished. If you just add some moss and cover any greenery that might be showing, I mean any of the styrofoam that might be showing, but I've got some greenery that I've got left over, and I've got this little kind of frosted leaf ivy that I used in a floral wedding bouquet, and I'm going to put some of that in there just to kind of give it some extra texture. And I'm just going to take the little ends, and if you feel like it's not a long enough stem, trim off some of the greenery or some of the leaves, and you'll have a longer stem. Put some glue in there and just stick it in there somewhere and let it run across, because this is like a little vine. And you just let it run across, and as you can see, that fills up that little spot right here. I'm going to put some more coming out this way and a little bit more coming out this way. Let me get this far further back so I can see what I'm doing here. Trim some of that off. This time I'm going to go under that other piece a little bit closer to the front where I stick it in. And because it's wired, you know, it's a little wired stem of greenery, I'm able to bend it and have it come flowing out to the other side. Now, as I said, I'm going to put something on this other side, and I've got more here. There's another kind of a short piece. Trim that off. And then this one, I'm going to put it on this side. Just kind of push the flowers out of the way and make sure there's no moss in the way. Okay. Now I'd like one back here, so it kind of sticks out a little bit. Let's see. This is sort of a long, medium-ish piece right here. I'm going to use that. Trim off some of this. And I'm going to stick it way back in here into the styrofoam. Little corner back here where there's, and then I'm just gonna get that flower in front of it, and I'm just going to get it to go back here and pop out. So it looks like it's just a vine kind of growing in on the back part of the fence right there. Can you see that? If you want to add more, you could certainly put some coming up this one. I think I will. Just because I think that looks really pretty. And as a matter of fact, I have this little bit. No, that's another greenery. Let's go ahead and just cut off from these bits. I can still smell that spray paint. I'll tell you something. It's not a bad idea to spend a little bit extra on your spray paints. Like get a good quality spray paint that will say low odor, or at least let your items dry outdoors for quite a while so that that scent will go away, because I am smelling it. Let me tell you. Okay, so here's my little arrangement. It didn't take very much time. Let's see, I used $1 for the container, $1 for the fence, which I only used half of it. So I'm gonna go ahead and share the price with this little flower. So I mean this little wand, another $1. And then I had 3 bushes, so that's 5. If I was to buy my ribbon from the Dollar Tree, that's $6. And if I did decide to use any greenery from the Dollar Tree, that would be 7, and then 8 for the styrofoam, and let's say another 50 cents or so for the moss, which I think can be shared with this, because this has a package of 4 and I only use 1. So I'm gonna say this cost me about $8 to make. And what do you think? You could sell this, oops, sorry, if you wanted to sell this at a little show, you could sell this for about $12.99. I think that would be a fair price if you spend about $8. And or you know, you could go up as high as maybe 15, but I wouldn't go any higher than that. You didn't spend very much to make this, so you don't want to take too much advantage. So there you go. This is my little USA planter. So let me know what you thought of this. Whoops, I've got some more ideas to create some more red, white, and blue kind of Americana style items. So I'm going to go ahead and continue doing some more of those. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, and what else would you like to see me do. I do have some more little wedding ideas that I could also do if you want to see some of that. So just leave a nice comment down below and let me know what you think. Give me a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up. I'm going to give my husband a big old kiss-a-rooney because I love this little skillet. The best thing about it is you leave all that glue in there. Don't worry about it. Just turn it off, you know, put it on low, unplug it. And it comes with this little lid, so then you can just cover it up and make sure nothing goes in there. It'll cool off in there. Whatever glue is in there will be used again. And any glue that drips out of your glue gun, oops, like this big chunk of glue, you would drop it into your skillet as well. So there you go. Any drips from your glue gun, throw them in there because that'll be reused. Okay, well, actually, it wasn't even used. It just got dripped out. So there you go. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, and make sure you share on your social medias. That would be a really great help to me. I really appreciate everyone who has already subscribed. Excuse me, I saw a little fuzz of cat hair on here and I had to remove it. It's just took my attention. Anyhow, there you go. Share on your social medias, and as always, enjoy.